And this president, you better start obeying the Constitution. You better start obeying the Constitution. It's going to get real ugly if you don't follow the laws and obey the Constitution like you swore an oath to do.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
Hello guys, welcome back to Vibe Reacts. For those who have subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing to the channel. Now, there's a group of thousands of federal workers whom some of them their jobs have been paused, and others they have to work. They just have to work. Some people like the health workers, the patrol agents, them they have to work. But you know what? They're working with no pay. That's something that it is so disturbing, especially knowing the way life in the US has been such a struggle to them. Imagine waking up, going to job, performing your duty as usual, waking up early. Mind you, you're using the transport, you're just using a lot so that you can reach at your place of work. And when you reach, you work with no pay. Is this really fair? Let's quickly jump into the video and come back for discussion.
And this president, you better start obeying the Constitution. You better start obeying the Constitution. It's going to get real ugly if you don't follow the laws and obey the Constitution like you swore an oath to do. The president came out just yesterday, okay? And he says, I'm going to pick and choose which federal employees that I give back pay to. Okay, so once again, he is indicating that he's going to violate the law and do something that's unconstitutional and despicably, not treat people fairly like we should in this country, okay? But decide, pick and choose whether he's going to give back pay to the federal employees that he likes. The president, his job is to serve this country, not treat the U.S. Treasury like his private piggy bank. That's the American people's money. How dare you go out there and say, I'm going to give back pay to the people that I like and not for the people that I don't like. We are in a dangerous spot in this country when the president thinks that he can just, ignore laws that are written in plain English. That law that you must give back pay to federal employees, okay, that is written in plain English, and he's just telling the American people that he's going to ignore it, okay? Nobody, I don't care who you are, I don't care what side of the aisle on, it doesn't matter. You got a constitution, you got to faithfully execute the Constitution, and he's ignoring it. And so both parties and every American should be furious with the threats that this president is making to federal employees in this country. Okay? So Congress, do your damn job. Yeah. Do your damn job and pass a budget. That's going to require a little compromise. Yeah. It's not a one-sided thing. If you don't have a bill, you haven't done your job. Yeah. So do your job. And this president, you better start obeying the Constitution. You better start obeying the Constitution. It's going to get real ugly if you don't follow the laws and obey the Constitution.
As if things weren't worrying enough for the hundreds of thousands of US federal workers, including members of the military who've been sent home without pay, not knowing whether or not they'll have their jobs back after this shutdown has ended. They're now hearing talk that they might not get the back pay they were expecting for that time out of work. So the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, says there is legal advice floating around that the government doesn't have to pay those federal workers for the time that they didn't work. That has been the case during every other shutdown, but this one appears it could be different. We don't know how seriously the idea is being taken by the government and the White House, but it's certainly an idea that's being floated. So we're talking about roughly 750,000 federal workers expected to be furloughed during this shutdown, according to the Congressional Budget Office. The longest shutdown was something like 35 days. This one looks like it could be even longer because politicians just can't find a way through it, basically. Meanwhile, federal workers are wondering how on earth they're going to pay their bills.
If I hear one more person or read one more comment that says, oh, you'll get paid when all this is over, I don't know why you're worrying. Getting paid when all this is over is not paying my bills today. We are dealing with the consequences of someone else's actions. So don't you dare blame me for not being prepared. Oh, you should have money in savings. Oh, you're a federal employee. You should be prepared for this kind of stuff. No, that's where you're wrong. I shouldn't have to take out of my savings because someone else can't do their freaking job. Meanwhile, I'm here being essential, taking care of people, and I can't even do my job, but I'm the one getting yelled at and cussed out because still someone else's actions.
Gotta help me out with this one, because I don't understand how this can be looked at as right in any type of way, form, or fashion. Come on, sip a little tea with Auntie. Let's talk about it. So y'all know we're in the middle of a government shutdown, right? And in this government shutdown, we have thousands of federal workers who are on furlough. To my understanding, per so many reports, it is being said that these federal workers may or may not receive back payment for the time that they've been off because of the government shutdown. How is that right? Some of these federal workers are having to go to work daily, even though they're not getting paid. Some of the rest of them are at home, but they still not receiving a paycheck. How is that not fair for them to be able to get their back payment once the government is open back up and pushing funds back into there? What are these families supposed to do? Just chuck up their loss even though they had no control over the government shutting down? Come on now, y'all.
Now, you've heard how pissed the federal leaders are together with the union leader. You've heard him. This guy is so frustrated because how can these political leaders treat the people who chose them, the people who put them there in power, like they are checkers on a political board? Is that even fair? How can they fire people and at the same time they don't pay them? Is that what leadership looks like? Is this what people really chose? Now, you see, people can't pay their rent, their bills, their fees, you know, it's so hurting. And there's also some people who are taking care of sick people, so they can't even afford the health care. Now, how are they going to do all this with no source of income, to be honest? Why are these political leaders betraying their people that chose them, people that kept them over there? You know, these leaders are there out there doing blame game thing, you know. And let me tell you something, by the end of the day, it's not even their concern, it's not even affecting them, because most people in the political leaders, they're most of them, they're billionaires, they're millionaires, they have their own money. So the people of America are the ones who are suffering, they're the ones who are going through a lot, you know. Parents are out here very stressed. How will you sit down with your child and start explaining to her or him that there's no money? How? You see, it's so unfair of these leaders doing that to the people, because you can find in some situation or rather some circumstances, you find that maybe there is one person in a household and that person is the one who has a good job that is paying her well. And the worst thing is that you find that this person is among those federal employees whereby their jobs have been paused. Imagine, and Trump is there saying that they should be fired. What are these people waiting for? I feel like it's not really fair at all. Because how will that particular person keep the household going? How? Because that person, you find that person is the provider. Maybe that person is the husband of a family of 5, the wife and the children. The wife, maybe she's a stay-at-home wife. How will they get to live their life without debts? To be sincere. So this is something that it should really be addressed, because I feel like the US government has really failed its people, because it's not fair. Guys, it's not fair. Let's not lie to each other. It's not fair because people are there stressed. People don't even have savings. How can you be having savings with those high tariffs and high inflation? How? You see, it's very difficult for you to have them. Let's not forget that even these workers, they're still people. Because to be honest, they feel like they were just used and unappreciated. Because if you work and you're not paid, what really keeps you going? What really makes you to come back to that work if you're not paid? That's something so hurting. So guys, let me know your thoughts, what you think about this video. Let me know if you're one of those people and you're going through the shutdown, you're going through the, like, you're working and you're not getting the payment. Share your thoughts and your feelings. Another thing, guys, before I finally close down, I can say is that they should not give up easily. How about they try looking for jobs in other places? They can start looking for jobs in Canada, you know, in other places, even in Europe, in Australia. Because if you're in a country and it's not working, nothing is happening, you're losing instead of gaining and living the life that you are living, my dear, you're just there losing everything. Just choose one of those countries and go. I'm sure you'll get something out of it. You'll get a good paying job, and if it's good enough, you can even vacate over there, as long as you just go there with your documents, so that we also avoid being deported. Thank you so much for tuning into Vibe Reacts. I'm so humbled. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please, let's reach 1,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you, and thank you so much, my people. One love.